Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my evening news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. George Floyd protests. Live updates from protests today. George Floyd's death has sparked protests across the country. Here are the latest updates. After a weekend of protests over the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota, Americans on Monday began the process of cleaning up after riots left damage in major cities, including Chicago and Philadelphia. Monday also brought further protests and demonstrations of support around the world, from New Zealand to Syria. The weekend gatherings prompted worry among infection disease experts that the lack of social distancing in crowds could cause a catastrophic setback from controlling COVID-19 in the U.S. as cities and states try to reopen. Protests outside White House broken up with flash bangs by mounted police. Take a look at this video.
Today, we're adapting to staying home and finding new ways to take care of ourselves. But you can still screen for colon cancer, because when caught in early stages, it's more treatable. So don't wait. Cologuard is colon cancer screening done at home. You can request it from home too. Ask your prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or learn more about online prescribers at requestcologuard.com. It's for people 45 plus at average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard today.
Ari, this is an extraordinary escalation on the streets in front of the White House right now. Within the last 15 minutes, mounted police have been coming down the street. You're going to see them in the frame now, using flashbangs in front of them and mounted police to clear what has been an entirely peaceful protest. Not 98%, not 99%, but 100% peaceful protest here today. People there was no throwing of water bottles, there was no throwing of objects, but short time ago, mounted police officers have been clearing the street. Tony, if you could pan to the right, I want to show the military police. I want to show the military police on the side of the street. Over the last half hour, we've had military police, we've had Secret Service officers, we've had park police, and now we've had National Guardsmen lining the fence. They've been stepping up closer and closer and closer over the last few minutes. You can see them lining the fence. Just a short time ago, we heard them firing those pepper balls into the crowd here as they've been trying to disperse people. You can see these officers aiming at the protesters who are here in the park as we're being cleared back along the sidewalk here in front of 8th Street. Again, from where I stood, I could see absolutely nothing. Hang on a second here. Ma'am, are you all right? No, she's not fucking all right, man.
I got hit bad.
All right. I had to pull the mic there, but you could hear her say she got hit bad. Look, Ari, obviously this is an incredibly volatile situation here, and we're going to try to keep our distance from it as best we can. But this is by far the largest law enforcement presence I've seen in this park in the last 3 days, and by far the most aggressive action I've seen by law enforcement in this park in the last 3 days. At no time that I've seen Ari in the last couple days.
Garrett, we're going to stay with you. So obviously do everything you and your team are doing to stay safe. We're going to stay on your shot. And why don't you walk us through, Garrett, what you know about where this is. Again, let's relate for viewers, how close is this to the White House,
Sure.
where the president is literally late by the White House's own initial announcement of when he would speak, and give us that general geographic context. We'll stay on your camera as long as you're safe.
All right, yeah. All right, this is the closest public street to the White House. This is 8th Street and Connecticut Avenue. It's the first street north of Lafayette Park. So if you have ever been to Washington, D.C., if you've had your picture taken in front of the White House, in front of the North Portico, you were standing in Lafayette Park. It's maybe 150 yards from the White House gates to where I'm standing right now. Again, this is the closest public street to the White House. This is, on a normal day, a publicly accessible park. Last night, it was accessible about 30 yards deep. Today, these barriers have held all day. No one has been in it. The streets have alternately been open to not just pedestrian traffic, but vehicle traffic at different times of the day today. And now you're seeing, I don't know if it's related to the president's planned remarks or not, but this incredible militarized presence at what had been a peaceful protest here. Again, 150 yards from the White House. You could drive a golf ball from where I'm standing onto the White House lawn if you had any kind of drive.
Okay, and there you go on that video as you saw it there. Viacom CBS channels air almost 9 minutes of I Can't Breathe video. Many of Viacom CBS-owned TV channels observed 8 minutes and 46 seconds of silence on Monday to recognize the importance of the protest movement sparked by the death of George Floyd. The channels included Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and MTV, which aired a video showing the words "I Can't Breathe" on the screen, with a haunting audio of someone breathing. The moment was observed at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The network previously observed a period of silence in 2018 to mark the mass school shootings at Parkland. NYPD officers appear to brandish guns at protesters. Mayor calls it absolutely unacceptable. That happened in downtown Manhattan on Sunday night. And also, we want to see if we can find it here real quick. Give me a minute. The president said Monday he will deploy U.S. troops around the country if state officials can't contain protest violence. And then after Trump made that announcement, President Trump left the Rose Garden after making that announcement, and he went to a nearby church to pay respect. I'm just seeing if I can find that, here we go.
take my We have a great country. That's my thoughts. Greatest country in the world. Make it even greater. We will make it even greater. It won't take long. It's not going to take long to see what's going on. It's coming back. It's coming back strong. It'll be greater than ever before.
As you could see,
the president now standing in front.
The president stood in front of a church after delivering a speech in the Rose Garden. He went to St. John's Episcopal Church in Washington, D.C. after speaking in the Rose Garden. And that does it for this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this news report. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with more news reports. Good night and bye, everyone.